What's going on, guys? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and I'm back with another Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes to Unearthed Arcana comparison video. This time, we're going to be talking about the Elf subraces. I already covered the Tiefling subraces in a previous video, and I'll be covering the Gith subraces, or the Gith in general as a race, in a future video. So first up, we have here the Elf subraces. This does actually span two separate Unearthed Arcana releases. There's the Elf subraces Unearthed Arcana and the Eladrin and Gith Unearthed Arcana. So we're going to have to go through both. So I'm going to start here just to get rid of two right off the bat. So in the Unearthed Arcana Elf subraces, we had Avariel, which are winged elves. They didn't make it into the book, so toss them out. And the Grugach, I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly, the strength-based, Greyhawk-based elves. They didn't make it into the book either, so toss those out. So first up in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is the Eladrin. So let's jump over here to Eladrin in the Unearthed Arcana. We can see here they had personality traits and flaws for the 4 seasons, as that's how these are very much determined. So you get your base ability that you would have from being an elf, so +2 dexterity, perception, and so on. And then these specific Eladrin traits. Your intelligence or charisma increases by 1, your choice. You can phase step, so as a bonus action, you can magically teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space. Once you use this trait, you can get it back on a short or long rest. And then shifting seasons. At the end of each short or long rest, you can align yourself with the magic of one season, regardless of the season that is dominating your personality. Doing so allows you to cast a certain cantrip, as shown in the shifting seasons cantrip. And you can see it's charisma or intelligence, whichever is higher, and it gives you either friends, chill touch, minor illusion, or firebolt. That is totally thrown out, as is most of that with what appeared in Mordenkainen's. You now choose. It's not a switch it on a short or long rest. You choose here, and I believe it says it. So here, an Eladrin is associated with one of the 4 seasons and has coloration reminiscent of it. It describes that some Eladrin remain associated to a particular season their entire lives, whereas other Eladrin transform, adopting characteristics of a new season. Oh, I guess it does have it here. I missed this part initially. When finishing a long rest, any Eladrin can change their season, and Eladrin might choose the season that is persistent. For example, Eladrin might shift to autumn if filled with contentment, might change to winter if plunged into sorrow. So you can still change it. That I missed in my initial read-through. And then we do see, again, the personality trait and flaw tied to each thing, so that remains the same. But now, it is not intelligence or charisma up by 1. It is just charisma by 1. You still do have your bonus action, and does it say? Yes, it does not type it as Misty Step. Magically teleport 30 feet, get that back on a short or long rest. And then they added this new feature. Rather than casting a cantrip, when you hit 3rd level, your phase step gets an additional bonus associated with your season. If it has a DC, it is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus charisma modifier, whereas before it was one of 4 cantrips. Now, if you're autumn, when you phase step, after you use it, you can choose 2 creatures that you can see within 10 feet to make a wisdom saving throw or be charmed for you by 1 minute or until you or your companions deal damage to it. Winter is 1 creature, when you use it, choose 1 creature within 5 feet before you teleport, and then they need to make a wisdom saving throw or be frightened of you until the end of your next turn. Spring is when you use it, you can touch a willing creature within 5 feet of you, and they teleport 30 feet instead of you, appearing where you want them to. And then summer is immediately after you use it. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of where you end up takes fire damage equal to your charisma modifier to a minimum of 1. I really like this. It's interesting to tie all the features to the phase step, which seems to be their main focus here, is Aladdin have this ability to teleport, and they tied all this cool stuff. Plus, it's basically a Misty Step, just not called a Misty Step, so therefore I don't believe it can be counterspelled, as it's not technically a spell. And it does have some cool bonuses, things like Charm, Frightened. The ability to teleport someone else instead of you could be huge for getting people out of harm's way. And I like the summer one, it's just no save fire damage. Granted, it is tied to your charisma modifier, but if you're playing, I don't know, an Eladrin, Sorcerer, Warlock, Bard, this is free source of fire damage for you, so that's pretty sweet in the long run. And I think it's a little bit better. Like summer was probably the one I would say to go to in their most summer or winter to get yourself a damaging cantrip that you could choose intelligence or charisma. But let's jump back. So sea elves appeared as well. So sea elves here in The UA were Constitution +1, proficiency with Spear, Trident, Light Crossbow, and CNET, swim speed of 30 feet, the ability to breathe underwater, and using gestures and sounds, you can communicate simple ideas with small or smaller beasts that have an inborn swim speed. So there's a little tweak there. It is still Constitution. You do still get proficiency in Spear, Trident, Light Crossbow, and Net. Still the swim speed, still the ability to breathe water and air. However, now, using gestures and sounds, you can communicate simple ideas with any beast that has an innate swim speed. Here, it was any small or smaller... Oh, it was still beasts. So now that it increases from small or smaller to any beast at all that has an innate swim speed, and you can still speak, read, and write Aquan, as is stated over here as well. And then last, but certainly not least, we have the Shatterkai. Here they are, Charisma +1. You know one of the following cantrips of your choice: Chill Touch, Spare the Dying, or Thaumaturgy. And then you also have the Blessing of the Raven Queen. As an action, you can magically teleport 15 feet, as opposed to the Misty Step of 30. And then just appear into an unoccupied space of your choice. And when you do so, you gain resistance to all damage until the start of your next turn. During that time, you appear ghostly and translucent. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Now, your Charisma, or your Constitution increases by 1, as opposed to Charisma. Rather than getting a cantrip of your choice, which is a little bit of a bummer, you get resistance to necrotic damage. That's an always-on thing, but being able to get Chill Touch as a character feature to give yourself an attacking cantrip is never bad. And then Blessing of the Raven Queen. It is a bonus action now. They increase the teleport to 30 feet from the previous 15. It is now, unfortunately, though, only once per long rest. And similar to the Eladrin, when you hit 3rd level, you gain resistance to all damage when you teleport using this trait, and you do still last until the start of your next turn. That's the same, and you do still retain this ghostly translucent feature. So that's it, guys. That is my review of the Unearthed Arcana to the Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes Elf Subraces. Let me know what you think in the comments below. The Sea Elves remained untouched, so that's fine. I have no qualms there. Shatterkai, I mentioned in the Unearthed Arcana, I didn't particularly like that Shatterkai were treated as an elf subrace, period. Resistance to necrotic damage makes sense, given the way they're trying to skin them. The Constitution bonus is a nice effect if you want to be more of a physical-based one. And you may be teleporting in and out. I don't like that the teleport is a long rest. I get that it comes with resistance to all damage, but I think that the Eladrin kind of have it better off in that they can change to choose what they want to do. If they know they're going into a social situation, teleporting and being able to charm people might be very useful. Or, you know, you're going to go up against some things that regenerate unless they're hit with fire damage, like, say, a troll. And then you'll just use your teleport via your face step to just deal some fire damage, and it's a guarantee. So, I don't know. I like the Eladrin. I can see myself playing an Eladrin. Although the charisma score, like the characters that I want to play, I've done a lot of charisma-based characters, so I'd rather try something else. So, I don't know. That kind of bums me out a little bit. I like the charisma or intelligence, because that way it lets you be a wizard with a free Misty Step. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Were you hurt to not see that Avariel and Grugok did not make it? Winged elves, I get why they probably didn't put them in as winged races in general, like Aarakocra or Winged Tiefling. Kind of, people are tentative to allow them in their games, as they do potentially break stuff very early on, where flight makes things very easy. Granted, at level 5, most things are flying. And then I kind of just like the idea of a strength-based elf. +2 dex, +1 strength. Not exactly the best combination for most scenarios, but I don't know. I just liked it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I'll see you back here for a comparison of the Gith in general. So we'll see what happens.